I figured it was about time for an update on the 8 or so businesses that I've been working on. So let's do this. Welcome to Allie on Life, where I believe that every life is a beautiful story, and I want to help you tell yours. Well, if you've been watching this channel since I launched it in October, you know that I had way too many business ideas that I was working on. I believe I acknowledged it at the time and still thought that I could get all of them done, but here's a spoiler alert. That didn't happen. So here's the update on what's been going on with all of those ideas. In fact, there were 10, and when I was listing them, I could only remember 8. So we're gonna go over 8. Just a little update on how things are going and a few things that I have learned along the way. Number 1, freelance writing. And I wanted this really to work, really bad. I tried hard at freelance writing, and I'm not giving it up completely, but I am stepping away from it for the most part. Freelance writing is one of those things that I have done. It's it's the first thing that I started freelancing was writing. So it's not something that I want to give up anytime soon. It's just not something that I'm necessarily pursuing as like a full-time or even very regular career. Here's the reason for that. It's the same reason why I didn't like English class in high school. It's the same reason why I got a history degree instead of an English degree. I do not like writing on assignment. That's a fact. So whether I'm being paid for it or not, I just don't love it. I love to write, I love to be creative, and I can do freelance writing, and I'm actually pretty good at it when I get the chance to. The problem is because I don't like it that much, I don't really put the time into looking for those gigs that I should. Now, if you remember my video on when I pivot, I was talking a little bit about getting on Fiverr and finding some work there. And I just wanted to say Fiverr is one of those interesting platforms. I don't want to say anything bad about it because I don't think it's bad. In fact, in lots of ways, I think it's actually pretty cool. It can help a lot of freelancers get their start and get some experience and get some money for things that they're really good at. And those are all great things. But the problem with Fiverr is that it's like a bargain basement place where people are looking for the cheapest work they can possibly get. And there are people out there who are willing to do work for really, really cheap. I was competing with people on Fiverr who were doing thousands of words for just a few cents per word or less than a cent per word. And personally, I value my writing more than that. And I know that the market can and should value writing more than that. So I got really irritated on Fiverr. And I'm not the kind of person who handles it well when people contact me and say, we want you to do this project. I'm like, that sounds great. And they ask for my rates. And I say, well, they're posted here, but here's what they are. Here's what it would cost to do that project. And they come back and say, oh my goodness, that is so overpriced. We know so many other people who would be willing to do it for so much less. And I thought, well, okay, hire those people, because I was not willing to take the time to do writing for 1 cent a word and then build it up to 2 cents a word and then 3 cents a word, especially when I was getting like ugly comments about even writing 1 cent per word. When you're looking at writing a blog and you want to have it be a well-researched blog with keyword research and all those kinds of things that people are usually hiring freelance writers for on Fiverr, or even like copywriting or writing a sales page or writing someone's book for them, 1 cent a word is a really, really low rate. And it ends up being a really low hourly rate too when you think about it. And it just wasn't something that I was willing to do or to build up to or to spend that much time on. And it was kind of emotionally painful for me to get to have the conversations that I was having with potential buyers on Fiverr. So I finally decided I'm not doing that on Fiverr, and I'm not going to pursue it actively in my business either because it was just taking too much time away from the other things that I was wanting to actually pursue. Next is web design. I enjoy design, I really do, and I kind of liked building my own website, so I thought, hey, this is a service that I can offer to other people. So to help out a friend here in town, I offered to build a website for them for something that they were working on. And I discovered in the process of building that website that it is something I can do. It's not something I can do really, really well. Like I would have to do a lot more of it and practice it and stuff to get really good at it. And I don't like doing it. In fact, I really hate doing it. And it was good to learn that because I've decided that web design is not something that I want to include in the services that I offer. However, my husband actually has a certificate in web design, and so that's something that he's interested in and that he can do. And that as he is doing that and building his business, I can kind of help out a little bit if I want to or feel like it at different times, but it's not something that I'm going to pursue for myself. Next is graphic design. I am not trained as a graphic designer. I have done a few things here and there. It's not something that I did in school, although my dad said that I should, and maybe he was right, but I didn't. I got a history degree. I do have a really good eye for design. That is my opinion, but I also confirmed it with a friend who says that I do as well, and it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. Like, I love putting together well-designed documents and slides and graphics and logos and all kinds of things. I really do like it. It's not exactly something that I necessarily want to pursue full-time as a career though. So I'm not gonna like put out my shingle or however you say those things as a graphic designer. But it's good to know that it's something I enjoy doing for my own projects and that I can help other people out with. If you need help with design, I may be able to help out a little bit, but I also have some really great resources and some friends who are even better at it and can do it much better and want to do it more than I do. Next is copywriting. And again, very similar to freelance writing, they kind of fall in a similar category. Again, copywriting is words that sell, whereas freelance writing is more like blogs and content and stuff like that. Again, I don't really love the idea of assigned writing, and it's something that I would have to do a lot more practice on to get really good at. But it's also something I do enjoy, and in my own business that I'm continuing to work on, it's a helpful skill to have. So it's still there. It's just not something that I'm, again, actively pursuing as a career. Next is editing. And actually this one I really do love. All of the jobs that I have done, all the gigs that I've picked up as far as freelance editing, they are easy, I can do them quickly, and I love doing it. And the reason why I love doing it is the same reason I've always loved editing, and that is that I love taking the words that people have written and making them just better, polishing them up, changing this and that, moving this around, fixing grammatical errors because I'm one of those kinds of nerds, who loves to do that. And editing is something that I can definitely do. In fact, I'm still on Fiverr as an editor because I can do that cheap and I can do it quick and it doesn't bother me to do it. And I also still have editing on my website as well as a service that I offer because it goes along really well with the other business that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And I believe that editing is something I'll probably continue to offer for quite a while. Next, if I remember correctly, somewhere in that list, I talked about being a personal trainer. And I actually bought a course to become certified as a personal trainer and then immediately decided I don't have time for that. And so it's still there and it may happen someday. I have so many ideas for how I could incorporate being a certified personal trainer. It's just not something that I'm doing right now. Also, one idea that I had and that I've always had is being a novel writer, and that is definitely something that I'm still working on. In fact, I recently rearranged my schedule a little bit so that I get up a little bit earlier and can spend some time every day doing a little bit of writing on my novel. I am super, super close. Like this week, I'm gonna hit 20,000 words, and that's a lot of words to have in a book. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've gotten some good feedback on the story and the characters and just where it's going. And so I'm really excited about continuing to work on that because especially as someone who wants to coach writers, it helps to be doing the writing myself. And I guess since I went ahead and mentioned it, I'll say writing coach is one of the businesses that I am really pursuing because again, I love helping people write their stories. It's part of like everything I am and everything I do and everything about who I am is helping people craft those stories and get them out there. Because like I say, every life is a beautiful story. Everybody has a story to tell, whether you want to be a writer or not, and not everyone has to be. But if you do, if you have stories or thoughts or ideas that you want to write down and share with the world, I want to help you do that. I love helping people write almost as much as I love writing myself. And it's just so natural to me to share all of the lessons and things that I've learned along the way as I do my own writing, as I learn how to write better, how to do things better, how to get my processes down and start books and continue them and finish them and polish them and hopefully one day publish them. I just want to do that along with people as I'm doing it on my own journey. And finally, content creator. You know I'm still doing that one because we're here doing this video right now. And so I've got my YouTube channel going. I'm working on some strategy for an email list and just putting out some more free, valuable content through that. I have a couple of products coming out pretty soon that I'm really excited about that I've been working on in the content creation sphere. And I always have new ideas for content. There's so much that goes into content. I mean, I've got videos, there's blogs that I can do. There's my novel technically is content. There's podcasting ideas that I am kind of excited about, but those are shelved for now, but they're maybe going to happen someday because I just love creating content. It's like right there with design, creating and designing and just putting new fun things out there really, really gets me excited. I have not made any money doing that yet, but we're going to keep working at it and hopefully someday we'll get there. And speaking of money, that's a good question. Have I made thousands of dollars doing any of these businesses? Am I like a six-figure blah, blah? No. I am bringing in a little bit here and there with some freelancing projects, and I tried a very brief stint as an editor for a food blog that just didn't work out because there was some miscommunication as far as what the workload was and what I was willing to do, and I learned a lot through that as far as how to communicate with people when you're looking at an opportunity and presenting yourself as the person who might be the one who can do that. Yeah, that was a learning experience, and I would put that somewhere in with like the probably freelance writing, editing category. So the brief amount of time that I was doing that brought in some income, and that was nice. But so far, I'm still in the building stage. I can't say that I've been super successful just yet, but I have some great stuff coming. So stay tuned because hopefully I can start reporting some income soon. So what I'm focusing on for now is creating content for entrepreneurs who want to write books or blogs or improve their writing in some way. If you're building a business and there's writing involved, I am here for you. So my question for you is, what questions do you have? I'm always open to answer any questions about writing and business, and I would love to help. Plus, if I don't know the answer, I'm really good at looking things up. So ask away in the comments, and I can either answer your question quickly or I can make another video about it at some point. And if you want to help me out, I could really use some help getting the word out about this channel. It's a little bit tricky to find in the search on YouTube at the moment, and if I can get to 100 subscribers, then I can have a custom link, which will make it a lot easier to share on all of the socials and all of that. So if you are enjoying these videos, please subscribe and take a minute to share this with someone who might appreciate it as well. Maybe a writer, maybe an entrepreneur who's just getting started in business or is trying to find the right business for them, or a writer who just needs a little bit of help and feedback and maybe a place to start. That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Now get out there and tell your story because someone needs to hear it.